morning, you guys. Welcome to another installment of Morning Oats, one that I am very excited to share with you guys. I actually do have my oats, and I do have my coffee, so let's start the discussion. So today is a very exceptionally exciting video for me to film for you guys. This video, I just kind of want to talk about my whole experience as a competitor, as competing in my first men's physique show. I was on the train ride down from LA. If you guys saw my last video, you guys know that I was up in LA filming more episodes of Transformation with Quest, which I'm super stoked about. But I was on the train ride back, and I was thinking to myself, like, how, because I know I wanted to just get a video out there where I was able to just speak about my experience, speak about everything that I went through from the day that I decided to compete over a year ago to the day that I stepped on stage to even a little bit afterwards, right? So I knew I wanted to make a video about that. And then I thought about it, I was like, well, I can make a Morning Oats about this. And I just got really excited because I just love that I have these videos, this series, to just talk about stuff. So that's what I want to do. So it's been a crazy road, you guys, going from a year ago. I remember a year ago I made that video where me and Brian announced that we were going to do a show. And honestly, like, I have to be honest with you guys, I had no idea what I was in store for. I had no idea what was going to be going on into that year, how much work was going to go into that year. But you know, I remember thinking when we announced it how terrified I was of actually bulking. If you guys don't know what that is, it's basically just putting on size and fat, but hopefully muscle over a long period of time where you're eating in a surplus of calories and you're tracking it and hopefully not getting too fat, right? So that's basically what that is. And I remember we announced it. What this video is about is actually my impending bulk. So that means I'm going to be eating more calories than I have been in 2.5 years. And after we were done filming the video, I was like, man, I'm excited, you know, but I'm scared because I don't want to put on too much fat. Like, I was really nervous about just putting on too much fat, if I'm being honest. You know, I was nervous about not being able to control it. I was nervous about not being able to control my appetite, not being able to tell myself no, things like that, right? So I just remember that's exactly what I was thinking after we had filmed that. And I gotta be honest, like, during my bulk, I wasn't the best at it. Like, there would be days where I would eat more in a surplus, and then days where I would try and cut back because I felt like I ate too much the last day. You know, it's something that I'm still working on. I'm not the best at that, and I think for good reason. You know, just going from having such a bad relationship with food. But I think I definitely did put on weight, and like, it might not have been as linear as I wanted it to be, but it definitely happened, and I think it definitely worked. So I end up, you know, I go through the bulk, and I mean, I didn't realize, it's crazy. I showed you guys a picture recently in one of my videos where it showed you at the top of my bulk and then, you know, where I was pretty much at the end of my cut. I didn't realize how much, I guess, body fat that I had on me. And I'm not even saying that I hated my body, not at all. I was very happy. I was able to eat whatever I wanted, you know, to a certain extent. I was able to go out with my family, go out with my friends, go out with Jesse, and just have a good time and not even stress about it. And it was really good. My numbers were going up in the gym. I was getting stronger, and I was really happy, you know. And I remember when we were actually up at Jesse's house when the cut started the day that I drove back home from Jesse's house. We were up at Jesse's house visiting her family, and I remember, like, I got donuts that morning. I had like one donut, and it was just really cool to have that last day with them and Jesse on the last day of my bulk. But I have to be completely honest with you guys. Like, I had no clue how difficult this cut was going to be, because obviously, like, I felt pretty confident that I would be able to drop body fat because, you know, I lost 170 pounds before that, so I was pretty confident that I would be able to do that. But I had no clue how different, you know, just losing body fat just to get healthier and then cutting for a competition is. It's completely different, and I have so much respect for the people that do that every single year or compete all the time. Like, I couldn't even imagine, just for me mentally, doing that, because it was difficult, you guys. If you saw in the last week in the peak week videos, I tried to be as honest with you guys as possible. You know, like, I would have days where I was just like, this is hard. Like, doing anything that wasn't related to the gym or eating was like, I couldn't even do it. Like, even responding to emails and comments, like, I I couldn't bring myself to do it. And you know, I learned a lot about myself in that cut. But I remember, so we're driving down and I was really excited. I was like, all right, man, I get a cut. I get to start tracking my food again. This is gonna be really fun. It's gonna be really easy. And the first, like, definitely the first 4 weeks were very easy because I started at 2,900 calories. Maybe by the 4th week, I was down to 2,750, which wasn't too bad. It wasn't that hard. I was still losing a little bit of fat for sure. I started at like 210, 270 pounds, and I dropped down at the very end of the cut. I was at 180 pounds, so I lost a good amount of weight for sure. But in the beginning, it was pretty easy. It was pretty much what I was used to when I was losing most of my weight. You know, just not eating liquid, not drinking liquid calories, things like that. Just very, very basic things that I always tell you guys. But then, like, we start dropping the calories more and we start upping the cardio, and it's just getting harder and harder every single week. And you know, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. It definitely showed me a lot about myself. And I just remember thinking, like, man, it was just different, because when you're just losing weight to lose weight, you can have a cheat meal or a cheat day, and like, yeah, it's gonna set you back, but it doesn't really matter in the big scheme of things. It's not that big of a deal because you're just losing weight to be healthier and to look better, right? But when you're losing weight and you're cutting for a competition, you have a day that you know you will be on stage getting judged about your body, and you're gonna be shirtless, and like, people are going to see if you've cheated. They're gonna see if you haven't been, you know, doing your cardio. They're gonna see if you've been eating more calories. Like, it's you can't hide it, right? So that was different because there was no room for error. And I was super nervous going into my bulk. I remember I was very nervous, right? Just doing that. And I remember as I got into it, I was like, okay, man, I can do this. And I felt much more confident as the bulk progressed. During the cut, it was funny. I went from being really confident and just being like, this isn't gonna be a problem, to like maybe halfway through being like, okay, I have to make sure that I'm on top of this so I don't end up binge eating and stuff like that. Because you guys know this, that I used to struggle, especially before I bulked, with binge eating all the time. Like, I would binge eat at least once a week. And when I say binge, I mean I would binge like crazy, eat so much food that I was sick to my stomach, okay? I've talked about that on videos. So I was nervous because as the cut, you know, started progressing, so what I told myself was like, okay, I have to be on point with making sure that I'm going to bed full and not hungry, so I don't binge, because that's when I do binge, right? So I was really, really nervous, and I am very proud to say, and I really hope that you believe this, because I wouldn't lie to you guys, but I haven't binged since this whole competition prep, since I started bulking. Well, maybe when I was bulking, I might have kind of binged just because I was like, I'll eat whatever I want. But since I started cutting, let's be more honest, okay? Since I started cutting, and even after the show, I have not binged one time. And you guys, I can't explain, like, that is such a big deal to me, because it was seriously so scary, because I did not want to just ruin my progress, like, and just binge like crazy. So, you know, halfway through, I'm really trying to make sure that I'm on point with my macros. I'm on point with making sure that I'm full at night, that I'm not eating too much and stuff like that. So it was really, really hard, because it turned into literally my main focus. It was almost all that I thought about was food, and making sure that I had enough calories, making sure that I wasn't gonna overeat that day, making sure I went to the gym, did my 40 minutes of cardio, you know, at the end of the cut. And it just takes so much out of you, I feel like. And you know, maybe I'm just complaining and it's not that hard for other people, but for me, I took it very seriously. Like, I didn't want to do this cut and not take it seriously, because, you know, going on stage and being like, well, I'm gonna have loose skin anyway, so it's not really that big of a deal if I don't come in as, you know, as conditioned as possible, or I don't lose as much body fat as possible. Like, I didn't want to use that as an excuse at all. I wanted to do this competition and cut and prep just like anybody else and take it as seriously. And I gotta say, like, it was so amazing getting into that little niche, right? That little, just like, it's a different life. I never thought when I was 360 pounds that I would be competing, but I took it very seriously, and I really wanted to just do everything that you're supposed to do right, you know, not cheat, not eat extra calories and then just maybe not tell anybody. Like, I wanted to take it as seriously as possible, because I know that that's serious. Like, people do that for a living. People love that. People, like, that's their life, and they take it seriously. So I'm not gonna go in there and try to make a mockery of this this thing that people really, really love, which is competing. So it was very serious to me, and it was very important for me that people knew, and that I knew for myself, that I was competing. When I stepped on stage, I tried as hard as I could, and I worked as hard as I could. That was really important to me, and I gotta say, I really feel like I did that for myself, at least, because I didn't go up on stage thinking, I'm gonna win this competition. Like, this is, no, you know, come on, let's be real. Obviously, I'm not thinking that, but that didn't make it so I didn't even try. You get what I'm saying there? Like, I didn't go in thinking I was gonna win, but I didn't go in thinking that I didn't have to try because I wasn't gonna win. I went in thinking, if I don't try my hardest, I'll know that in my head, and then I'll feel like I failed. But I really feel like I tried my hardest in this, and I really, really worked as hard as I possibly could. So now it's competition day, and I just remember being just so excited. Like, I woke up at 6 a.m. I was just really, really excited, and we got down there and we got our spray tans, and I just remember, like, everyone was just so nice to me. And it was funny because I thought I would be maybe kind of like weary about walking around with my shirt off and having so many people around, but I didn't even think about it. Like, I just took my shirt off when I got my spray tan, and I just kept it off the whole time, and it was just nice. It was a nice feeling just not worrying about it. Maybe people looked, but I didn't really even notice it. People would come up to me and they would just be like, hey man, how much weight have you lost? And I would tell them, you know, because by that point I had lost 180 pounds, so I was like, yeah, I've lost 180 pounds, and they would just be like, man, I like respect to you. And it was really important to me that I didn't go in there and try and like steal the show or try and make this show about me. Like, I wanted the people that won to win and to get the glory, because they deserve it, because it's freaking hard. But it was really cool when competitors would come up to me and just ask me, and we would just start talking, and that was really, really cool. I remember we were getting ready for the for prejudging, which is the first show, which is at like 10 a.m. and I thought I was gonna be going on in like 30 minutes. But it ended up like my friend JD runs up to me and he says, hey man, like your class is in line to get on stage right now. You need to hurry up. So for prejudging, I wasn't able to eat enough. Like, I wasn't able to pump up, which is like to get all the muscle, like the blood in your muscles to make them look bigger. And I was just like, dang it. So we get up to the front of the stage, and then they tell us, like, right before we go on stage, they say, okay, you can only do 2 poses. You can do your front pose and your back pose. That's it. That's what they said. So basically everyone wasn't doing that. They were basically like doing 3 poses. I was watching everyone pose, and they were all doing 3. So basically what I chose to do was I chose to do my front pose, my best side pose, and then my back pose. And then I, you know, walked to the side of the stage. And I remember, if I'm being completely honest, I was so nervous. I was shaking the whole time I was on stage, just like shaking, and because it was just like, literally, I went from being like, okay, I got a lot of time, to being on stage, to being on the stage. I just competed, I guess you could call it, right? And I was just standing there, and I remember I couldn't even look anyone in the eyes. I was just like scanning the whole, you know, the whole arena or whatever it's called, and I was just like, I wasn't looking at anybody in the eyes. So, but it was really cool. I remember I stepped off and I was like, whoa, like, that's done. It was really, really a really cool feeling. And so, you know, the rest of the day kind of progresses. We end up eating a little bit more. We make sure that we do eat more for the night show, and we made sure that we pumped up. Me and Brian, we went back there like 30 minutes early and just really started pumping up early as we could, just to, you know, be filled out and look as best at least for the finals as physically possible, for us at least, right? So I remember for the second time, they go out there and you can do your whole routine. So you can do front, back, side, front again, right? So I just remember the second time, I was just so excited and happy, because like I got done with competing, right? I got done with that, and now I was able to go and just kind of, in my mind, I felt like I was just able to show off my hard work. That's what I wanted to do. And so I went out there and I did my poses, and then I go to the side, and then this time I'm actually scanning and looking at people in the eyes. You can only really see the judges. So I remember I looked at one judge, and he just looked at me. He pointed. He did this. He pointed, and he's like that. He just did that, and I just remember I was like, that meant so much to me, because, you know, like I said, I did not want to go into this show and like make these judges think that I'm making a joke of this, because it's freaking serious. Like, I worked hard, and everyone that was on that stage worked hard. Everyone, all the girls, all the guys, everybody that was on that stage worked so hard to be on there. So I did not want to go on there and make a mockery of this whole thing. That was so important. And when that judge did that, it really just, I don't know what it was, but it felt like he was saying like, dude, I see you, good job, and we're glad that you're here. That's what it felt like to me. And I just remember when he did that, like my smile went from like regular to just like really big, because I was like, and then I just kind of was like, I pointed at him, I was like, thank you, man, you know? And that was really cool, and I wish I could have got that. Like, I wish I was wearing a GoPro so you guys could see exactly what I'm talking about. But that meant so much to me, you guys, when he did that. And that was just really cool. So, you know, the finals are over, we go back, and now I'm just hanging out. I'm just chilling, like, really good day, really excited, and I'm just hanging out in the room where the competitors are hanging out. And then the guys from Quest, because you guys know that they kind of filmed their own little video with like a really nice camera. I'm really excited to see that. But they come up to me like, hey man, we just wanted to give you a last gift before we leave. And I was like, okay, cool. I was thinking it was maybe gonna be like a new flavor of Quest bar or something like that, which would have been cool. So that's what I was expecting. I was like, okay, cool, yeah, let's do that. And so we walk out to like where they're giving like the winners like their swords and all that stuff. And I was like, oh, this is cool. You know, it's where the best lighting was, so it made sense that they wanted to do it right there. And we sit there, or we stand there, and Bruce, who's like, he's like the chief, I think, like marketing officer. He's like the guy that does everything for like the shows, like the bodybuilding shows and stuff like that. He comes up to me and he tells me, you know, we're really proud of you. We know that you've worked so hard and you deserve a break. So he gives me this right here, which is just like a spa gift card, which is freaking sweet. Me and Jesse are gonna be using that soon, and I'm really excited about that. So that was really cool that he did that for me and that Quest did that for me. But then, like, the coolest thing, you guys saw this in the video, was when the director of the whole show, the person that set it all up, this is the guy that set up the whole show, right? Comes up to me, and we have that interview that you guys saw, and he just tells me that like he's talked to some of the former winners of the show and then the winner of that show, and he was like, they know who you are, they're inspired by you. And then he brings up the vice president, I guess, pretty much the other person that set up the show, and they give me that sword, and what he says is like, you are the overall winner of all categories, right? So basically, I don't want you guys to think that I won the show. It was just their gesture of saying like, you've worked hard and we're glad that you're here. Like, that's the thing that I got out of it, was that they were glad that I was there and that they appreciated it and that they were just really happy that I was there showing off my hard work. That's it. Like, that's what meant so much to me, and that's why I was so taken aback, because I didn't, like I said, I didn't want to go in and make a mockery of this thing that people work their lives for. Like, this is what they do. So that meant so much. And like, even recently they posted something on their Instagram that they put together, I didn't even make it, of just like a picture of me side by side, and them saying like they were really happy to have me there. So that it just shows to me that they were happy that I was there, and that they didn't think that I was making a mockery of their show. They didn't think that I was, you know, not going in and not taking it seriously, because I did, you guys. Like, I did everything I could to look the best that I could. And I'm very proud of, you know, the package that I brought for myself. Not saying that I should have won, not at all. I think you guys can tell that by now. But that's what meant so much to me, you guys. And like, I'm not sure, I haven't done this on purpose, but I haven't really even talked about my skin that much, because it wasn't even in my head. Like, I wasn't even thinking about it, because it was just such a great experience, just being around all these people and people coming up to me and us just talking. Like, so many people would come up to me like, hey man, my mom or my dad or my sister or my brother like follows you, and they're really like, you've helped them, you've done this for them. And I'm always like, man, I didn't do anything for your family, they did that themselves. Like, I'm happy to maybe provide some inspiration, but that's their hard work that they've done. And then, like, you guys, and that was the night. And then, so we end up, I kind of want to talk about what happened afterwards too, because I think that's really important for me. So I know I keep saying I was nervous about all these little like portions of things that go into this, but like, you know, the bulking, the cutting, and then the after the show. But the bulking I was nervous, the cutting I was cool with, and then I was nervous. But then after the show I was really scared about binging, because I've heard horror stories of people putting on 15 pounds, 20 pounds, and I did not want to do that. I didn't want to do that. Just for my own mental health, I didn't want to do that. So we ended up going to Denny's, and literally all I had there was, I mean, it's a lot of food, but all I had was 4 pancakes. I had a side of hash browns and a side of fries. That's what I had. That's what I wanted. I ate it and I was full, and it felt great, and I felt awesome, and it was just a great night. Like, I remember, I've said this a couple times, that as I got home, showered off that disgusting tan, and I felt amazing. Like, I remember when we were driving to Denny's, I was just calm. the food is always on your mind the last 4 weeks of prep. So I was just really, really calm and just like, all right, I can go, I can eat whatever I want. I don't have to eat everything in the world. And we got there, we had a great night with so many people came to Denny's to support and just show that they were there. And it was really, really a nice night. And like, it's maybe like 6 days, yeah, 6 days since the competition. And I have not binged one time. I haven't even felt the urge to really binge. I've only put on 3 pounds since stage weight, 3 pounds. And that's awesome to me. Like, that's such a huge accomplishment. Like, I'm still lower than I've ever been in my life. You know, obviously not as low as I was on stage weight, but I'm lower than I ever was before this, prior to this, and I feel great. Like, I'm definitely not starving myself. I'm enjoying myself. This camera's gonna be the death of me. It was a really, really good experience, and I'm really, really happy with what I've been able to do since the show. But I'm gonna go ahead and end this video before this camera does something stupid again. But yeah, that was my thoughts of before the show, the bulk, the cut, after the show, the actual show. Like, I just really wanted to get my thoughts on a video, and I think I've done that pretty well here. You know, obviously I'm sure there's some things that I missed out on, but before this camera does something, I just want to say thank you guys so much for watching. I really, really appreciate you guys. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. There's one other thing that I wanted to say. Oh yeah, look how buff I am.
Obey the warning signs, and when there are flashing lights or wigwags, don't attempt to cross until they come to a complete stop.